Hi friends, today in this video we will talk about the history of computing, how the concept of computing came into existence and how it evolved over time. So normally it is a common thinking that computers has evolved in middle of the 20th century. But the basic idea of computing, so that a machine can perform calculations, a machine can compute, it is a very old idea. And the person who was the evolver of this idea was Charles Babbage. He was a mathematician, and in 1820 he got some idea that he has to create, or he can create such a device which can calculate, which can compute. Why he thinks so? So there was a situation where his team got many problems, suppose errors, into navigation charts. Navigation charts was something related to maps. So for forming this navigation chart, it was not an easy task. It requires a lot of calculations, and it was very error prone. So at the time it was done manually, the task was done manually, and the clerks who were able to do these tasks were very good in mathematics, very good in computing. So first they were called computers. Yeah, the clerks, the employees who used to form the navigation charts for maps were called computers, and then the name of the computer evolved, and the name is also assigned to the machine we know as computer. So this person Charles Babbage formed, manufactured the first computer of the history, and he used pulleys and gears, and this computer was called difference engine. He tried a lot to manufacture, to create such a computing device, but he failed. So again he constructed a advanced version, and the advanced version was called analytical engine. In this analytical engine, punched cards were used for instructions. Instructions is what? Normally in computer science we used to write codes, and those codes are called instructions. The task is called programming. So at the time this task of programming was done by punched cards. His fellow, the name Ada Lovelace, he was he can be called as the first programmer. I mean, he invented the art of punch cards. He used to write instructions on punch cards, and thus the computer used to work. So he was very good in writing punched cards, a series of punch cards, so that the complex calculations can be performed easily. So the Babbage can be called as the inventor of computing device, and Lovelace can be called as the inventor of programming. Huh. This is purely historical background. Now come to the modern era, 1940s. So in 1940s, an inventor was there called Count Juice, who belongs to Germany, and also he was in Germany during Second World War. So he created the modern model of computer, and it was made of mostly electrical components. Mechanical components were very less, but it was never published. He was not able to publish because it was the duration of Second World War, and because of some political issue and because of World War, he was not able to publish. So at the same time, around the same time, in United Kingdom also, a mathematician called Alan Turing. He was very famous, and he used electrical as well as mechanical components to create a computer. And the task of this computer was to break secret codes. During Second World War, secret codes were used to send for military operations through enemy nations. So this computer used to break this secret code to decode it. To simply, I can say that the computer works as a decoder to decode the secret code. In USA also, a computer is formed, which is basically called Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, ENIAC. The creator, the founder was John Mullsy. So, and also in many universities, research and development on computing devices, on software, on programming languages, it was started at a time after Second World War. So, in University of Pennsylvania, first general purpose computer was formed, and this general purpose computer has all only electronic components, not any mechanical components. All the components were electronic. So this led to commercial development of computer, especially commercial development of personal computers, and many big companies like Honeywell, IBM started their manufacturing unit, and they used to manufacture these personal computers. In UK also, large governments and business units involved in research and development, and also in using these computers for business and for governance purpose. Universities, commercial organizations and governments were funded a lot for this research and development process. Now, after the Second World War and after this invention of personal computer, now hardware was separated from instructions. I mean, hardware is separated from softwares. So software become a new stream, a new industry, you can say, a new sector, separated from hardware, because previously software was used to build only on the basis of hardware friendly hardware software. I mean, only software, previously it was created only for hardware, but now it can be performed independent of hardware for performing any business function, for performing any application which is different from hardware intensive. So now we can divide softwares into two types. The first one is system software and the second one is application software. Now also the programming languages evolved from low level to high level. Low level means in closer to binary format. Binary format, you know, in the forms of 0 and 1, and high level means to natural languages as English. So now a programmer can program instructions closer to natural language, closer to English. Now come to 1960. Now the technology evolved a lot, and now it was the need to connect different computers or connect computers at different locations. So a new terminology came into existence that is called network. I can say the network industry has a set of hardware and software and also protocols such as Aloha protocol. Now, after the invention of network, the computer spread around the world at a very faster pace. First, it was only introduced to wealthy and nations which can afford, developed nations like European countries, USA and other USSR, such type of countries. Also, it was first involved only in military and government functions. But after that, when the general purpose computer, the personal computer came into existence, it spread all around the world in developing countries also. In India, the first computer came and it was implemented in Indian Statistical Institute in 1956. India got its first computer from USSR, and it was the basic purpose was to do research in computing. Also, it can handle some complex data about Atomic Energy Commission, data that belongs to Atomic Energy Commission and also that belongs to National Supply Survey of India. Thus, in India also, computing came into existence. In next video, we will talk about the history of internet. For this video, thank you.